So, Sam and Marcy, how did your trading journey start? Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. And today I'm going to be speaking about how did my personal trading journey start. Now, this is story time. We need to go all the way back to 2017. I remember staying in a room at Kovacs, UWC. So that was the university that I was at in South Africa, Cape Town. And the roommate that I had was heavy into trading already. And I remember one day walking into his room and I saw the charts. And I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know a single thing. All I remember was seeing candlesticks. I didn't ask him a thing, but I went to my room and I went to go YouTube. What are these graphs that people are doing? And then we were walking to class one day and I asked him, Katie, what is those things that's on your screen there? And he was like, bro, it's Forex, bro. Just do some research, Forex. And even back then, back in the day, I remember my guy putting me on to ICT and he was teaching, I think it's the 70 point something or the 62 fib, 61.8 and the 70.5 fib. Back in the day, I had some videos and I was watching those, but I never ended up trading those. I remember getting a PDF of AstroFX and going through those PDFs, starting to trade what was taught on baby pips, going through the whole school of baby pips. So then you trade in Fibonacci, you trade in support and resistance, trend lines, and you're seeing this whole trend of everybody trading the same, and you're really going with that. So my journey, 2017 happens. I start learning about Forex, baby pips, learning from AstroFX, free PDF that I found, watching ICT, and eventually I just scrapped all of it and I started trading in news. 2018 we came back. So to the back of 2017, I started learning about Forex and learning all of the terms and understanding what candlesticks are doing and how they're moving. We're moving to 2018 and I get to university and I told myself, I don't want to trade like everybody else trades. Just speaks to the person that I am. I don't want to do what everybody else do. I eventually started looking at news events and how the news events move the market. And I ventured off into that trading strategy and I just traded news, guys. Like I just traded news for a full year. And it was very lucrative before Mr. Donald Trump got into office. It was quite lucrative. There was a lot of ups and downs. I remember 4 a.m. in the morning, AUD news coming out, NZD news coming out. So one day you hit a big winner and you basically 5 times your money. You take a $200 to $1,000 real quick and you 5 times your money. And then the next day you give half the money back, if not everything. And it's 4 a.m. and you're shouting people awake if you're winning money. You're sweating people awake if you're losing money at 4 a.m. And not just that, you're leaving class early to trade USD news, to trade pound news, just so that you can get in front of your charts on your laptop and take the trade. And that was an exciting time. That was the time that I think I'd describe my journey as a movie. And then after that, we had the big indices movement on Instagram. And I'm guilty of joining the indices movement. I remember there was NASDAQ, US 30, QBanks jumped on US 30, and I feel like the whole world saw US 30 and the whole of South Africa saw NASDAQ, and it was just a big movement. That was wonderful for me, guys. As a student at the time, I remember markets opening up at 11 o'clock. This was before daylight savings. Markets open at 11 o'clock. I take a trade on market open. I make 500, 600, 1,000 rand. I withdraw it, and we in the club at 12 o'clock. And we're spending that money knowing that the money is coming to my account from JP Markets the Monday again. And that was a time where I just thought, okay. And coming out of the news, what I didn't mention is majority of the money that I made in the news, I gave it back to the markets. So when I started taking NASDAQ, I had a point to prove to myself that I can withdraw money. And so every time I made money, I withdrew the money immediately. And I would spend the money, whether it be on alcohol, food, whatever the case may be. I spent the money and I felt like trading was moving forward. And that was 2019. 2020 comes, COVID hits, and it's just a movie. the movie occurred, and I was still trading NASDAQ, and I was still doing all of those things. And this was when I first stumbled across prop firms, and I remember sharing it with all of my trading mates. And they all said, bollocks, mate, like, this is not it, bro. Like, I don't think this is the way. And I remember I said, oh, it's like, you're not seeing the way forward. I know it's early. This was when I think, although you can't negate all of the prior years learning because it got me to where I am today, at this point, mid 2020, towards the end of 2020, start of 2021, that was when I really started trading and thinking like a trader. This was when I started thinking in probabilities. This was when I started refining my strategy and understanding that you need to trade in sample sizes. And once you get a sample size finished, then and only then can you make adjustments. And that's been my journey up until this point. Let me hand it over to Sam.
So my trading career began in the latter part of 2016. I was a first-year student at CPUT in Cape Town, and the plan was study 4 years, graduate with a national diploma in civil engineering, and join the family business to continue the legacy with my siblings. But deep down, I didn't always feel aligned with this path. Both of my parents are entrepreneurs and have built successful businesses. And while I'm eternally grateful that I come from a privileged background, I've tried as far as possible not to associate their success with my own, and have always wanted to forge my own path, create my own model. I've just never really known how. So in 2016, a friend of mine began posting a very lavish lifestyle on Instagram. And with it, posting these strange charts, screenshots of blue screens. And, I didn't understand it all at the time, but I was instantly hooked. So picture this. I'm a student. My basic needs are taken care of, but over and above that, I'm practically broke. I worked promos at the time, but that was never a long-term gig. So I'm 4 years away from, graduating, even further away from starting to make a decent salary within my chosen field. I just remember telling myself at the time, I don't know what this man is doing. I don't know what it entails, but I need to be doing that, and I need to be doing it now. Initially, I began my journey with the intention of being self-taught. I thought I could do it because in my mind, it's either you buy or you sell, and physically, there's not much to it. So I spent about 4 months before deciding that I actually needed to get proper mentorship. This is where I made my first real commitment to the craft. So I want to give you guys a snapshot from 2017 to 2019, which I personally feel was my teething stage. It was a time or a chapter where I was unconsciously unskilled. And 2019 or 2020 rather to 2023, which I define as a stage of a lot more conscious and intentional growth. This was a chapter of being more consciously unskilled. While I was still at university, early in 2017, after working double time on promos and saving, I joined Global Forex Institute. And that decision was influenced a lot by the infamous Sandile Shiresi. And if you're from South Africa, you know that he was coined, the youngest millionaire in South Africa, and came from a background and built this wealth from trading. Fast forward 5 months, to be honest, it was nothing I hoped it would be. And it felt like I was back to square one. Later in that same year, I joined Billionaire Forex Group. This was my introduction to support and resistance trading, back when it still had all the hype. During this period, I think I really started digging into, a range of technical approaches from support and resistance, chart patterns, Elliott wave theory, and, countless other indicators. It almost felt like I was trying to add as many technical tools onto the chart to find some sort of holy grail, of confluences that would lead to, this magical trading jackpot. And after about a year and a half of being unsatisfied with the progress that I was seeing, I decided no more online mentors. I need to find someone, in person that I could sit down with, that I kind of suss out, because I thought at this point I knew a thing or two, and they'll teach me how to become a consistently profitable trader. So at the beginning of 2019, after being referred by a close friend, I began one-on-one mentorship with Nkweza Trading. This was the first time in my journey where I felt like I was being taught by a genuine trader who was passionate about trading, as well as passionate about teaching other individuals the skill. This was a price action strategy that incorporated key psychological levels to determine, your biases and entries. Very much like support and resistance trading, but with a lot more discretion. Over that year, I felt I really elevated as a trader. But coming towards the end of the year, I finished up my studies and moved back to Durban from Cape Town. The first 3 years of my journey were a bit of a wild roller coaster of learning how to trade, struggling with risk management, blowing multiple accounts, and sporadically making big wins. Now, over the years, through a common goal of trying to be successful traders, myself and 4 friends sort of grew with each other as traders, trading our own respective strategies. And this is actually where Marcy and I began our friendship. We knew each other through mutual friends at the time, so we weren't very close. But as a group, at the beginning of 2020, we decided to start an educational trading company called PIP Institute. And this is a whole story on its own, and something I don't think we have time for today. But long story short, it didn't take off. Excellent idea. Arguably, we were all a bit too early on the journey, which just resulted in poor execution. So we disbanded and kept in touch, but with being in different cities across SA, it kind of fizzled out. One day, as I was scrolling through YouTube, I stumbled across a man called Mark Hutchinson, who told me that support and resistance trading is the reason why I was not a successful trader. And coming from a background where that was literally my foundation of trading, it challenged me in a way that I think led to a very big paradigm shift. And after spending a couple of weeks, I think, just reviewing their website and watching as many videos as possible, I joined Falcon Trading Guidance at the beginning of 2020. This was probably the best decision I feel I've made in my trading journey. And I want to read you guys a journal entry that I'd made towards the end of my time at Falcon, which I think sums up my development. Falcon has taught me to act in alignment with everything I want to achieve before it physically materializes. This has had a ripple effect in all areas of my life. Becoming a trader is so much more than what's sold on social media. It's a beautiful journey of self-discovery and mastery with no predefined timeline. Being consistent in my processes, scheduling tasks in my day, and officially managing my time and focus, all while prioritizing health and relationships, are not things that I tell myself I'll do when I'm consistently profitable. They become a way of life that I've embodied on the path to consistency. Acting in alignment with my higher self is my biggest takeaway from Falcon. When I joined Falcon, I'd spent the better part of my trading journey till that point setting goals traditionally, profit targets within a predefined timeline. Learning about process over outcome, and abandoning monetary profit targets altogether made me realize that I'd placed my purpose in trading around only making money. And now that was gone, I no longer had that same drive as before, which led me to become complacent in my trading early on within the community. Focusing on my why and setting a new intention to be a Falcon-funded trader took me through a rebirth process as to the meaning I place in being a consistently profitable trader. Like I had said, Falcon for me was a lot more than just learning the strategy, which is not what I thought at the beginning. I think it really shaped me into a well-rounded trader, especially from a psychological perspective, because they're very big on developing a trader's mindset and becoming the individual you're aiming to become before you see the tangible results. So when I left Falcon at the end of 2021, due to feeling like I'd fallen into another rut, I joined the Crypto Circle, which was founded by Amish Palmer, who I had a mutual following with on Instagram for a couple of years, as well as his partner, James Palmer. So Amish was more on the crypto side of things, which was an interest I kind of had over the years, and James headed up the technical trading strategy. The Crypto Circle's trading strategy was rooted in none other than smart money concepts. So I think at this point, I fully realized that I was strategy hopping and trying to chase whatever the most relevant strategy was at the time, instead of doing the deep self-work that would take me to the next level, or that I needed to do to break through to that next level. So I almost made a commitment to myself at the beginning of 2022 that I would stop blaming the strategy, stop blaming the mentor, stop blaming the market, and do what I know I needed to do consistently to get to that next level. And I think little did I know that one decision would lead to the biggest breakthrough of my trading career. This was a result of feeling very aligned with the Crypto Circle strategy, just in terms of how mechanical I needed to be, with just the right amount of discretion for my personality type. While I didn't achieve my goal of being a funded trader in 2022 or 2023, over that period, I transitioned to a point of being consciously skilled in this craft, where I know I possess everything I need to become a consistently profitable trader. And then in the process, putting my actions where my mouth is and just doing the work day in, day out, until the tangible results materialize in the form of passing the challenge, in the form of making that first withdrawal, in the form of consistently withdrawing after. As traders, especially traders that are currently doing prop firm challenges, we focus a lot on, phase 1, phase 2, maybe with some prop firms, phase 3, and getting that funded account. But it's really what comes after that a lot of traders deal with, when you have the account and it's time to now continue being consistent in your actions. It's not about the 8% you made on 1 or 2 trades. It's about, over time, can you continue consistently withdraw? And that in itself is a whole, new challenge, a whole new chapter that I feel is still waiting, that I'm on the cusp of. So again, while this was a bit longer, but still short, I hope you guys learned, again, more about me through my journey and what I've gone through. And this was in no way, I think, to scare any of you out of making that commitment, taking the leap, because it's no secret that this path is difficult. And I think we don't speak about how difficult it is. And if there are any of you that are on the journey and, resonate with this, then we hope, or rather, this is your call to just keep going, just keep pushing, because it may not make sense now and it may feel very confusing now, but each part, each chapter, each page of your journey contributes to the bigger picture, and it'll eventually click down the line. Once again, thank you guys for, if you've made it this far, just for sitting and listening to me reflect. If you haven't already, do check out our first video where we just chatted a bit about who we are personally and what we do outside of trading. And yeah, look forward to seeing you guys soon.